Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your man, it's your boy, it's the big, bold, ginger motherfucker himself, me. Let's answer some of your questions and get straight into it. Silver Slick says, finding someone that would be okay with, hey, I'm feeling low energy today on a first date, or can we just cuddle on the first meetup seems like an impossible dream. And for full context, this was on a video I did where I said, if you're having a day, this applies to men and women, if you're having a day where you don't feel like being super sexual, you're feeling all that performance anxiety, you're allowed to just say, hey, can we cuddle? Can we chill? Do you mind if we just have a chill date? And so Silver Slick, you're saying finding someone like that who would be okay with that or happy with that seems like an impossible dream. My beautiful friend, everything seems like an impossible dream until you do it. You're going to say, everyone I've met from the apps seems hyper-focused on performance. No, my wonderful friend, you beautiful bastard, are the one who is hyper-focused on performance, not them. You're projecting that onto them. When was the last time you said to someone, hey, I'm feeling low energy today. Do you mind if we have a chill first date? Try saying that and see what happens. You might be pleasantly surprised. It might blow your fucking mind. But a lot of women like to cuddle. In fact, this might really blow your mind. A hell of a lot of women prefer cuddling to sex on the first date. Holy moly, how could it be possible that different women like different things? Your mission, if this is something that you want, is to go out there and find the women that want to cuddle on the first date, if that's something you want, or the women who won't put pressure on you to perform. But the pressure comes from you. I'll just tell you that right now. Like, women aren't the ones putting pressure on you. Maybe you met one who did, but you're the one who's putting pressure on yourself with the 99 other percent. You're going to say, but I've had little experience. There you go. So guys and girls, if I can just give you a general rule for life, don't extrapolate based on a tiny sample size. We would call that what? We would call that terrible science. And what a lot of you do is you'll have one or two bad experiences or one or two just okay experiences, and then you'll extrapolate that and say, it's impossible for me to do this thing, or all women or all men are like this. No, that's terrible science. If you have a really small sample size, that is fucking awful science. So go onto my website, killyourinnerloser.com, and search for this article, Oh No, You've Angered the Gods. And I talked a lot about how people who are new to something, and really this just applies to any goal that you're working on, you will have a tiny little sample size. You'll run into one or two, maybe women or men that you're not really into or that don't give you the vibe that you're looking for. And then you will, with that tiny sample size, extrapolate and make a big fucking, doctrine basically. Or you'll make a big declaration and say it's impossible. So again, go check out this article. It's just called Oh No, You've Angered the Gods. And that, my friend, is exactly what you are doing. You are saying, maybe I met one woman or two women that were hyper-focused on performance, and no, again, they weren't. You were, and you projected that onto them. But you met a couple of women, and then you're saying, fuck, maybe it's all of them. However, you are open-minded. You're doing a really good job of going on to say, I'm open to changing that perspective. It could just be the way I'm showing up. Yes, it is. The universe is a mirror. The world is a mirror. Whatever you put out there is what will come straight back to you. And so if you are the one who is hyper-focused on performance, you will be giving off vibes of performance is super important. What do you think women are going to reflect back to you? They're going to say, well, this guy seems obsessed with performance. This guy gets fucking weird if he's ever in a low mood or his dick doesn't work. He just suddenly freezes up and gets weird and gets all strange. So I guess it must be a big deal. Holy shit, performance must be a big deal. You're the one doing that. And I think you already know that. You're, open to that idea. But if you show up for these dates, or before you go on the date, if you send someone a text and say, hey, you already wrote it at the top there. Hey, I'm feeling low energy today. Do you mind if we just have a chill date? You will give that vibe that it's okay to have a chill date. And she will receive that message and go, okay, I guess it's cool to have a chill date. I won't expect him to perform because he's literally told me that he doesn't want to perform. He wants to have a chill date where we can just cuddle, or we can hang out, or we can go for a walk, or we can just talk. And so be the change that you want to see in the world. If you want other people to be okay with cuddles or low energy or being chill, it's not a bad thing. I just phrase it as like having a chill date. If you want to find people that are okay or happy to have a chill date, fucking you go first and say it first. This is something that I've said like 50 or 100 times to women. Hey, I'm in a low mood. I mean, that was what this video was about. It was literally about a girl that I was about to see, a woman that I was about to see, and how I sent her a text message saying, like I read it out on the on that original video. I had sent her a message and just said, hey, I'm feeling not in a great mood. I don't have a lot of energy. Can we just cuddle? Can I lay in your chest? Can you stroke my beautiful bald head and we just talk? And we ended up doing that. We actually ended up fooling around and having sex, but there was no pressure to. We cuddled, I laid on her chest, we went for a nice walk. It was fucking nice. Like we just had a nice day together. And so if you want this stuff, you go first and say it to people, and you'll find that a lot of people are open to that. Like again, any women listening right now are just like, is this guy tripping? Does this guy not think that women like to cuddle? That women like a chill first date? Like, my man, if you actually go out there and start saying to women, can we just cuddle? They're going to fucking fall in love with you. Do you know how much? Here's the other little cheat code if you want. So that's cheat code number 1. If you want women to really fucking like you, just say, hey, let's have a cuddle date tonight. Let's talk about our fucking feelings. Let's talk about emotions. I want to open up and be vulnerable to you, and I want you to open up and be vulnerable to me while we cuddle and look into each other's eyes and hold hands. There you go. Text that to the next girl that you're going on a date with and see what fucking happens. She will fall in love with you. If you want the second little cheat code there, text her before the date, especially if it's a date when you guys are already like sexual, like you've already had sex. Text her and say, hey, I'm not feeling super hardcore sexual tonight. Like I don't feel like banging the shit out of you. Do you mind if I lay you down, take your clothes off, put some soft music on, light some candles, get some massage oil, give you a massage, and then go down on you and give you, you know, orgasm after orgasm, and just spend a lot of time worshiping your body, worshiping your pussy, worshiping your beautiful soul. Text her that and then come back and talk to me. So yeah, my brother, you've just been putting this insane pressure on yourself that like you have to perform, that your dick has to always be hard, that you have to be super energetic, that you can't just chill and cuddle. But my man, there are so many women out there that are so receptive to having a chill first date, or any date really, to having a chill date and just cuddling and hanging out. Do you know how many women will fucking love you if you text that? You just haven't tried. So you go on to say, like, where and how do you find these people? They're everywhere, man. Like, just like, I mean, fuck, like, if there are any women watching this video right now, which about 20% of you are women, like 20% of this audience are women, please leave a comment and, like, let us know if you'd be happy to cuddle and just have a chill date and just talk about feelings and open up and be vulnerable with each other. Like, I mean, for God's sakes, like, this is like what women want more than sex, if anything. Like, women love sex too, obviously. Everyone loves sex. Most people love sex, but like, fuck yeah. So where and how do you find these people? On the street is where I met the woman that I talked about in that video that's on the screen. And other women I've met through Hinge and Tinder and freaking anywhere else. They're everywhere, man. Like, what do you mean? Like, women want cuddles. Women like having chill first dates. They're everywhere. You just haven't been going first. All right, let's read out this next one because this is a cool win. This excited me. Sus Yoda 7571 says, hi, Andy. Hello, my friend. This is going to sound hard to believe. Nothing ever does. But I got a 6-figure job. That's amazing. And I lost my virginity at 22 in big parts thanks to your guide. That would never sound hard to believe. That's like most of my coaching clients. That's amazing. I'm very happy for you, by the way. These were milestones that I was convinced were impossible. Isn't it funny, the limiting beliefs that our brains tell us? And like, I can't get a 6-figure job. It's like, why? Why? I can't lose my virginity at 22. I'm too old. It's too late for me. Why? Like, we just have these beliefs in our head that are just like never fucking true. So I'm really happy for you, man. That's amazing. Thank you so much for the content you put out. Keep doing great. Thank you, my friend. And same to you. You know, spread some of that love, spread some of that gratitude with other people. I say this a lot to a lot of you. The absolute biggest gift that you could ever do for me, like if you ever want to do something for me, if you're ever feeling generous, I mean, first of all, you're welcome to throw me money. But outside of that, if you ever want to do something to really, really, really help me, Andy, or to do me a big favor, build a life that you're very, very, very in love with and that you're happy with and that you feel proud of, and then spread that joy and love to other people around you. That is literally the thing that I want the most for all of you, is to build the life that you want to live and then share that joy that that life brings you with all the people in your life and all the people around you. So brilliant, man. Thank you for sharing this. And this next image, you'll have to look on the screen. Any of you listening, look on the screen right now. This comes from an Instagram that I love called Growth by Visuals. And they just have a bunch of cool little graphics and images and stuff that they've made to really sort of solidify self-improvement and goal and success concepts. So I freaking love this one. No matter how hard it looks, there is always a beginning. This is why I talk about just take one baby step. If you feel overwhelmed by your goals, you feel like you can't lose weight or you can't get a girlfriend or you can't make money or whatever your goal might be, just start with the very first little baby step, and it won't feel like that is making much of a difference. Like in this graphic here on the screen, if you pick up the very first puzzle piece, it's like, great, that didn't do much. But it is a start. You've at least gotten started, and then you just find the next puzzle piece. Maybe you start with the 4 corners, in the example of a puzzle. But you just do a little bit each day, each week, each month, each year, and I promise it adds up. So I know it can be very easy to be very overwhelmed and feel like there's no way I can, lose my virginity or get a girlfriend or get a boyfriend or do this or do that. Like, it can feel really intimidating. So stop looking at the big mess that's in front of you. Stop looking at how far you have left to go and just look for the very next step that you can take, or in this case, the very next piece of the puzzle that you can start to put in order. And maybe we will finish up with something a little bit funny. So this is something that I posted 10 years ago when I basically had just started my self-improvement journey and I was starting to work on my dating life. I posted this back on a forum, the Good Looking Loser forums, all the way back in 2015. And I wrote, this is funny to me to read out now, but I honestly feel like 99% of girls in my country aren't good for anything except sticking your dick in. Does that sound like something Andy would say right now? Most are boring, shallow, and not all that great to converse with. I'm sure that's something that some of you have felt. And isn't it funny how when you change your attitude and you change your mindset, suddenly all the women around you are wonderful and they're amazing and they're interesting and they have so much to add to your life and the sex is wonderful and the conversation is great. So it wasn't that the women were boring or shallow or not great to converse with. It's that my attitude was a little lacking. So I went on to say, I know that sounds like I have a shitty attitude. Okay, so I had a little bit of self-awareness back, when I would have been 28 at the time. But I really, really, really try and keep an open mind. Yeah, I was trying my best. And I know a lot of you try and keep an open mind too. But it can be a little bit of a challenge, right? But girls keep letting me down. No, my young 28-year-old Andy friend. Girls were not letting me down. I was letting myself down. I would tell a story that the women let me down, and with that story, I let myself down. That's a quote from Byron Katie. Nobody can disappoint me. I tell a story of how you disappointed me, and I disappoint myself. My attitude was a little lacking, but I was doing my best. And I've said this before. Sometimes, if we go through a little bit of a rut in dating or any goal in general, sometimes it's very easy to blame the opposite gender or a different race or a different political leaning or, whatever. It's very easy to demonize and vilify the other side, or to even invent another side in the first place. We demonize them, we say it's their fault, we say they're the ones with a shitty attitude, not me. Kind of like the previous comment that I read out on the screen, like the guy who said, how come I can't find any women who want to just cuddle or who want to have a chill date? It's because we're not doing the thing. Back in this, when I wrote this, when I felt like women were boring and shallow and not great to converse with, it's because all I was presenting to them is like, hi, I want to fuck you. That's it. I wasn't having deeper conversations with them. Lots of them would open up to me and I was just like, no, I'm here only for sex. I had that very I don't mean this in a derogatory term, but you could have easily told the story that I was a fuckboy, and nothing against fuckboys, but I was the guy that just wanted to get laid and didn't want anything more than that, but then would have a very negative attitude about women. All I was presenting was my sexual side. There was nothing deeper to Andy back in 2015. I wasn't asking deep questions. I didn't want to get to know them really. I didn't ask about their goals or their hopes or their dreams or their childhood or their emotions or what they wanted or any of that. I was just like, my penis needs to go in a vagina. And then no wonder I felt like women aren't good for anything except sticking your dick in, because that's all I was presenting. And they probably would have thought the exact same thing about me and said, this guy, all he's good for is just a dick, like to shove in my pussy when I'm horny, because that's all I was presenting. And so again, the universe is a mirror. If we present, like if our attitude is that the opposite sex or friends or whoever we're talking to, if we have the idea in our mind that they're not really interesting or that they're boring or that people suck, how many of you have said to yourself or to other people, people suck, or society's falling apart, or people are fucked, or people are damaging the planet, or men suck, or women suck? Like when that's your attitude, that's all you'll get back in return. Because what do you think happens if you have this attitude that I have here on the screen? What do you think happens if you go around saying 99% of girls in my country aren't good for anything except sticking my dick in. They're boring, they're shallow, and they're not great to converse with. They all keep letting me down. What do you think happens if I meet a woman who's interesting and deeper and a really good conversationalist and really wants something more than just she takes my dick for 30 seconds and then she leaves? What do you think happens when I meet that deeper, more interesting woman? She leaves. Why the fuck would she tolerate someone with this attitude? Why the fuck would she talk for more than 30 seconds to someone who speaks like this about her entire gender? Why would she give me the time of day? She might be polite and just politely say like, no, thank you. And so all that I am left with when this is my attitude is the women who are just looking for something very casual or shallow or whatever you want to call it, however you want to define it. And all the women who are deeper are going to run the fuck away. I say this to a lot of you. You don't mean to, but sometimes some of you, like the negativity creeps in a little bit, the hopelessness creeps in, and you feel like women suck or women are the problem. And some of you women, the same thing will creep in, that insecurity or that hopelessness, that doubt that you're ever going to be able to find a good man. And so then you go around saying men suck. What do you think happens when you meet a wonderful man and you present to him, men suck? He's going to go like, well, fuck this, bye. If we suck, why would I talk to you? I'm going to go talk to the woman who appreciates men, the woman who's grateful for men, and vice versa, guys. So, yeah, it's funny the attitudes that we have and how they shape our entire world and our entire reality, but we don't even know that we're doing that. Like, we are the cause of the world that we see. We project outwards whatever our inner internal beliefs are, and then we blame the world for that. And we go, the world is full of shitty people. And it's like, no, your attitude is kind of lacking a little bit. Your attitude is a little bit negative and grumpy. And so anyone wonderful runs the fuck away from you. I had this recently with a girl that I stopped seeing. She had a bit of a, I'll try and phrase this nicely, like combative attitude when it came to, I think just dating in general, but definitely like men. And there are a few times she just assumed the absolute worst of me and men in general. And so what do you think happened? I put up with that a couple of times. I tried to get her to see the nicer side of men, or of me, I guess. And then at some point I just said like, hey, I think this isn't what I'm looking for. I want someone that trusts men, or that is willing to be a bit more open and vulnerable with men. I want someone that won't just assume the worst and misunderstand what I'm saying. I want someone that, I guess, likes me and likes men. And if that's not you, that's okay. But like, let's go separate ways. And so again, I really want to drill this in. I don't judge or blame any of you who feel a bit negative towards women, or feel a bit negative towards men, or feel a bit hopeless. Because like, the evidence is right here on the screen that I used to be exactly like this 10 years ago. So I get it. Like, believe me, if you're going through a rut when it comes to your dating life or any goal in general, and you're feeling a bit frustrated or hopeless, I have been right there. The proof is right here on the frickin' screen. I get it. I promise. I get it. All right, let's finish up with a shout out to our new coaching program, which is called the Abundance Collective, which is $200 a month, $200 a month. And David here, wonderful, amazing David, one of the guys in the group, gave this cool testimonial. And he says, I've been part of the Abundance Collective since the group was created a couple of months ago, after having followed Andy for a long time and watched many of his videos. The Abundance Collective gives me a sense of community, a place where I can be vulnerable, ask for feedback, and receive love. It helped me work on my honesty, clarify my goals, and understand what I truly want. The coaches and members of the group are a great source of support. Thank you, Mr. David. I appreciate you saying that. You're a fucking legend. So if any of you want to be part of this much more affordable, much more accessible little community, little coaching group, whatever you want to call it, the Abundance Collective. There's a link down below. You can check that out. If you're interested, you can sign up. We've already got, I think, like 20 people in there already. So it's already doing way better than I thought it would for the first couple of months. So holy crap, don't miss out. Be part of that. If you're interested in more direct access to me as your personal coach, I obviously have the big hardcore VIP coaching program as well. There's a link down below to that as well. As always, ladies and gentlemen, go out there and crush your goals.